Hey Dusklight, TJ here, and this is not like super bad news or anything yet, thankfully, but I decided that it was a sensible idea to put this video together for a bunch of different reasons. Let's sort of get into it. If you're new to this channel, if you've been sent this from somebody with this title, first of all, hi, I'm TJ. I am the creator of Dusklight Radio, a multimedia channel that specializes specifically in telling horror stories with dynamic voice acting, sound design, original music, and a bevy of original voice actors, using some of my own award-winning content in Sturgeon, as well as other celebrated phenomenal storytellers. Forgive any pauses. This is not a prepared script. I am doing this off the cuff. We got demonetized during the first round, or first big wave of demonetizations a couple months ago. I actually said at the time they wouldn't catch us because of certain caveats, and they caught us anyway. However, I also was the quickest turnaround for any demonetization to remonetization of any channel under 1 million subscribers. Bearing in mind, at time of recording, we are close to 20,000 subs, but that's it. We're not big at all. And yet they saw my 5-minute appeal, and within 3 days they remonetized us. I got some small information about what they were sort of looking for, but not a lot. When I tried to get more from the agent, I really didn't get a lot, and the conversation kind of stagnated. In that time, we have seen other channels like Vidith, who is a close friend and obviously is been on the channel a lot, got remonetized, although he took the longer route round where they denied his first and second appeals, and it was only after 2 months that he got reinstated. Now we're seeing a new wave of demonetizations, and we've actually seen a few re-demonetizations, meaning channels that were originally passed after a set period then were shut down again. I've been trying to help out channels where I can, and it's reached a point now where I don't have the ability or the time or the energy to keep repeating the same things over and over again. I've had over 100 emails from channels, and some of which I've tried to help out where I can, like Jordan Group Horror, Hong Kong Tales. I'm going to speak to Jay Nightmares, Mr. Grinless, Nightmares Nightly. There's just too many for me to keep kind of going through the same information over and over again, and it's not enough to text it as well. So what I'm hoping to do is this video here is going to kind of serve as an explanation as to what I think has gone wrong, how I think you can fix it, and what to do differently. In addition to that, and there's chaptering systems below, this isn't going to be super long, but you could skip ahead to what we, Dusklight Radio, are going to do differently as we see the wave of re-demonetizations happening, and I'm very concerned that we could get hit again, even if it was only for a short period of time. We don't want that to happen and mess up our production flow. So I've got a proposal I'm going to put forward, but you're probably here for the first half of this. So let me start with a very important caveat. If your channel is utilizing almost entirely in its workflow AI-generated content, if your prompts are ChatGPT based for your story, so they're all made by AI, if your music is done by AI, if everything from your voices is AI, not only can I not help you, but it would be useless trying to help you. The current system and the detection software they're using, as flawed as it is, because it is flawed, it has caught good, honest creators out, because it's got a flagging system and it only needs a few of those boxes to be ticked, and then boom, you're caught without anyone even looking at it. That system is looking for AI. So if it detects that you're using the same format in every video with the same unchanging vocal style, the same unchanging music, and you're not changing anything in your formatting, yeah, you're going to get hit. Now, all I need to tell a human creator is switch out your visuals, change your introduction so you've got a different musical tone starting it off, and make sure your voice doesn't sound the same. Like if you're doing the same introduction, you're going to need to redo it a few times so that there is a degree of variancy in your content. That's easy for a human person to do. But if you're AI, well, you're fucked, really, and I don't want to help you anyway for reasons that, quite frankly, should be obvious, and I don't need to spend drawing out on this video. It's just pointless, and I don't want the real problem to be underlined by a lot of people arguing unnecessarily. We all know how we feel about content farms and slopaganda. We don't need to spend more time on it. I'd rather help the actual people who are being caught out for this. So really, if you have hit me up and I know you're an AI channel, I can't help you. And that's 2/3 of the people gone. I just don't have the ability to go through every single one of them. There are channels where they're very clearly good people, honest, normal human beings, and they're getting caught out, and I don't often have the answer. You know, I'm not the conduit towards YouTube support. I'm just a little guy. And until we can get that info from a YouTube rep, which I will tell you right now is very hard to achieve because they are kind of not saying a lot. When we have gone to people who have YouTube creator support, they are not really giving us a lot of info, which tells me that they either don't want to tell us or they don't know. Could be either one. But the bottom line is, there are so many different bits of information that Vidith and I have sat and scratched our heads over what the fuck it is. And the new wave of demonetizations has really concerned us. So, and before I continue any further, here is a quick word from Vidith.
Hi everyone, Vidith here. I'm going to just say a few words on the recent situation that we've been in with demonetization, myself and Dusklight Radio, and there's a bunch of narrators that have reached out to both of us over email and over DMs, speaking about they have had the same issue that we had, and just reaching out for further clarification or on things that they could do differently. And I give the advice to the best of my ability in helping out the channels that are in deep water and that rely on these types of incomes for their families, for paying rent or mortgage. This is something that it's scary and it's terrifying, and the waters are fucking a bit treacherous right now, and there's a lot of uncertainty. But all that to say that, at least to me, in my heart, this is nowhere near or close to the end of horror narration community, or not even close. I think that it's just we take a different approach to it, as well as narrating and, keeping the stories that you guys love with verification of intros and outros and music and visuals and changing things and shaking things up for the new foreseeable future. Diversifying content is also helpful in showing this algorithm that is very, in my opinion, seems to be a little bit bloodthirsty for people who are just recording stories from the internet and going from there, that we are more than just this box in this content field. That we are human beings that have many different passions aside from, say, just one thing. And showing them that, we are authentic creators and we are putting our love and passion and heart and soul into these things every day, and working hours and hours tirelessly to make sure that these projects seem right to us. So yeah, I think that this is just a pivot, just a little road bump at the end of it, for horror creators and narrators alike and authors. This is just something that's going to be a little bit of a headache, but overall I think it will pass, and it'll just be, we'll have to take a different approach and go from there. Yeah, I appreciate your time. Thank you all.
When it comes to advisements, if you are someone who has been hit by this and you are an honest creator, the first thing I'll tell you to do is change your visuals. Your visualizer is a static thing. We all use them, but you are going to need to switch it up. You're going to need to put something else in there every two or three videos so that when the bot is sweeping over it, it's not seeing the same commonalities. Same with your voice. If you are a human voice, this is not going to be hard for you. Just change up how you do your intros, even just a different word, a slightly different pitch, a different intonation, a different speed, and music. If you're using the free-based music systems, because not everybody can afford to pay for music subscriber libraries, I get that. If you're using Mew, Kevin MacLeod, AG Music, anything like that, you are going to have to cycle it. You're going to have to use it. Now go on YouTube, look up horror music ambient creators. There will be a bunch of them that will say, you can use our music, just credit us, and then do that. It does require a bit of effort, and, this is a job. I do want to say one thing, just one very important thing for my audience and for those brought over. If a YouTube creator who is adamant that they're not AI tells you to your face that they spend 12 plus hours on a single 25-minute video reading content, they are lying to you. It does not take anybody that long. It shouldn't take a young person that long. And especially if you've been doing this for a long time, the average video length should take you I would say about 6 hours if we're being really, really generous for a 25-minute video. And this isn't me saying this from on high on my tower of ivory of how I've been doing this for so many years, but if you're disciplined enough and you've got, 20, 30, 50,000 subscribers, you should be able to read a story, put a basic ambient track on in your visuals and shove it up. That's nothing. So when they're telling you that, because they're gaslighting you into feeling sympathy and trying to get them remonetized when they're not authentic. Don't buy into it. And I say this not because of drama. I'm not naming anybody. Like, there's no one I need to name. The people that are like that, you know them. But it's really important you know this, because these are the people that are making it harder on us. When we get hit, it's because these people are so brazen in their thievery, so brazen in their behavior, that they're not willing to even admit that what they're doing is wrong. And as such, we get caught for it. So that's all I'm going to say. Just be aware of that. If you are someone who has gone down this road and you're stuck now with, like, you've done the changes and they've denied your appeal, the best thing you can do is keep uploading content, keep pushing things out, and make sure that you show you're making changes. We have a theory that the demonetizations are because nothing is changing in that particular channel's format. So whoever it is, if they are going to get hit, it's because they've not changed anything in how they behave. And if they had any assets that were AI generated in their voices, in their stories, in their music, then they are going to get swept again and they'll get caught again. That's our theory. We really don't know, but false flags can come up and we could get hit again. It really is something that we just don't know at this point, but we need to start shoring up our defenses. So I encourage anybody who is a legit creator. Like I had someone called Tricon Tales from Nepal, who, when I went through their channel, they're very clearly just a guy reading stories that they say are authentic and are given to them. And yeah, I don't think they should be, demonetized for that. But they're being swept up in it. And that means people's livelihoods being affected. I know there's comments, people saying, well, don't put all your eggs in one basket, or you should go and get a real job and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, but entertainment is a job. The arts are a job. You either are a patron of the arts or you're not, but I don't think we should be turning this into something it's not. Like, we shouldn't be bemoaning people who have staff to pay, who are good enough to make their livelihoods on YouTube suddenly, like, well, go and work at Greg's and McDonald's. It's like, a lot of us came from working class backgrounds. I certainly did. And you shouldn't need to throw away an entire livelihood you spent years working on, especially if you aren't being lazy doing the job. If you're putting in the hours and putting in the time, someone kicking you when you're down or, making a thing of it, it's unnecessary and it's cruel, You're never going to catch me arguing with someone in the comments about it, but I do see those things, and it's very demoralizing. The other thing is what we do about it. So Dusklight Radio has, since the beginning, been a channel that has always done different things. We have done horror content, we've done comedy horror, we have done Let's Plays, we've done live streams where we do weird readings, and we do D&D. And I think one of the things we're going to need to do in order to future-proof our content in the long run is we need to lean a little bit more into that. Now, obviously, what brings people to my channel is the voice acting, it's the sound design, it's the stories being done in a dynamic way. I know that, I love that, I don't want to change that. However, I do think that if YouTube is deciding it's going to start punishing people who just read stories, we need to show diversification. So by saying, hey, we're also doing these Let's Play videos, which they're not going to demonetize because that's, a massive bread and butter for them, we could show that. Same with the D&D, same with doing video essays. So I'm going to sort of have to reveal this a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but there's a couple of video essays I want to do based on a couple of video games. One of them is like a Minecraft horror ARG I'm really interested by, and another one I am going to keep secret, but we're working on these in the background and we're going to see how they do. But it's always been a goal of mine to move into doing more analysis stuff of video games and horror content. And if people don't like it, I understand that. But I think if I dig my heels in, if we as a collective dig our heels and say, well, I'm just going to read horror stories, then I feel I'm going to wake up one day demonetized again and the appeal will not be so kind. no matter what I say, because we've seen that creators that follow the rules, that do the right things, that do invest the money in their visuals, in their music, in their sound design, and everything else, and do their own stories are still getting struck. And I can't tell you at the moment where that end game is. I've said before that I feel YouTube is trying to isolate and snuff out the narration space, and it could be they change their policies to saying, actually, we don't want people just reading stories and bringing them out, because commentary, drama slop has become such a huge thing on the platform now, and there's so many channels that just make a living by quite literally putting up a "he's done" or "they're done" thumbnail and then reading out tweets, and that's making them tens of thousands of dollars, and that's whatever to me. I don't care. Get your money. Like, I can't, throw stones from glass houses. But if they're going to stop that, they might be stopping us as well. If we can go out there and say, well, we do horror content, but we also do X, Y, and Z, that may be more of an appeal. And in the long run, my goal before anything else is to ensure that Dusklight Radio continues so that you all get good quality content and get representational content. So I really hope this helps a little bit. Like, it's not a long video necessarily. It's just something that I really felt if I put it into a community post, people aren't going to see it. They're not going to say much. Whereas if I put this here and I'm like, well, the first half is for the discerning channel that's gotten caught, and the other half is for my own audience. So in closing, if you are unfortunately a channel that has been hit once or you've been re-hit, my honest advice is to start changing out your visuals. Look at your previous videos and see if there's any common identifiers that repeat the same time in the first 60 seconds and change them. Use a bit more investment in music. Use a bit more investment in your sound design and see how that goes. And if all of you do that and it still isn't working, then maybe YouTube is telling us, not so subtly, to get the fuck off the platform, that they don't want us to be successful anymore. I don't know. I really hope that I don't come back here on the channel in the middle of 30 and 30, which, by the way, I should mention, we are not doing daily videos again. Myself and Bidith are very concerned that might, even though it shouldn't, that in itself could end up causing a flag. So it's going to be every other day. I probably will never do daily content again until I know for certain that won't catch me out. So we're going to be cautious with it, but I hope I'm not coming back here in a month or two letting you know we've gotten demonetized for the second time. But we will put a plan in place for Spotify and to move our content over in the long run, but for now this is our plan. I hope this helps any channels out there that are stuck. I will still try and help out those I can individually through Discord. Please go and give places like Mr. Grinless, Hong Kong Nightmares, J Nightmares, Hong Kong Horror, J Nightmares. These channels deserve a lot of attention, a lot of love. I really hope we can get past this, but for now, that's all I got to say. If you're already on the Patreon, thank you so much for being there and supporting us. We're going to try and shore up our defenses and ride this one out. See you soon.